This checkout page has 50% conversion rate when the industry average is 8%. But how are they doing it? Most people those days advise just to copy the Shopify checkout page or add upsells, have multiple payment options, and the list can go on.
Enough of the silliness.
But what if I told you that the most popular best practices could actually be hurting your sales?
No! God, please, no! No!
In this video, I'll be breaking down 3 widely promoted checkout improvements that might be the worst thing for your store. And if you stick around, I will give you 3 actionable steps that will increase conversions at your checkout. Shopify's checkout looks clean, simple, and optimized, so naturally people assume that copying it will increase their conversions. But here's the problem. What works for Shopify stores doesn't necessarily work for WooCommerce stores. Shopify sellers often deal with impulse buyer, fast transaction, and standardized checkout experience. But if you are selling high-ticket items, digital products, or seafood, a Shopify-style checkout can actually hurt your sales. Why? Because the Shopify checkout focuses on a specific type of buyer, a type of buyer that probably is not yours. A lot of people think that adding upsells or cross-sells during checkout is a smart way to increase revenue. And yes, in some cases it works, but sometimes it actually does more harm than good. Checkout is a fragile moment. The customer has already decided to buy, and your goal should be to make that process as smooth and distraction-free as possible. But when you are throwing in upsells or cross-sells, you are interrupting that flow. Instead of completing the purchase, they now have to stop and decide, do I need this extra item? Should I go back and check out more products? This hesitation kills conversions. The more decisions a customer has to make, the more likely are to abandon the checkout entirely. Think about it. If someone is buying a subscription or a high-ticket item, the last thing they need is to purchase another product. It creates doubt instead of reinforcing their decision. Breaking checkout into multiple steps make it feel smoother and less overwhelming. And in some cases, like for highly complex orders, that makes sense. But for some stores, a multi-step checkout actually hurts conversions. The idea behind multi-step checkout is that by splitting up the process, customers won't feel overwhelmed. But what really happens? They get frustrated when they realize they are not actually done after filling out their details.
But see, they don't know that we know that they know.
If they see the next button instead of the place order button, their brain registers it as more effort, and that's where you lose them. Every extra step in your checkout is another chance for a customer to drop off. The more screens they have to go through, the more time they have to second guess their purchase. And if they get distracted or frustrated along the way, they're gone. Instead of breaking a checkout into multiple steps, you can create a single clear page that shows them exactly what they need to do without surprises. The faster and the simpler you make the process, the more sales you'll close. Plus, the whole point of multi-step checkout is to capture the lead in the first step, so in case they abandon the cart, you can try to convert them through email. But you can easily do that without the need of multi-step checkout. So now that we've talked about what doesn't work, let's go over 3 things you can actually do to optimize your checkout for higher conversions. A lot of people make changes to their checkout based on what they think will improve conversions. But without testing, you are just guessing. Instead of blindly following trends, run A/B tests to see what actually works for your audience. Test the different layouts, button placements, field arrangements, and even checkout copy. Data will always outperform assumptions. Take the Shopify checkout approach, for example. It might work for your audience, or it might completely kill your conversion rate. The key is to test and let the real data decide. And here's where most people mess up: stopping a test too early. If you don't let the test run long enough, you'll get false positives. thinking something works or doesn't based on incomplete data. So how long should you test? At least 1,000 transactions per variant or a minimum of 2 weeks, whichever comes first. If your store is low on traffic, you'll need to extend it to 4 to 6 weeks to get meaningful results. Otherwise, you are making decisions based on luck, not on data. Instead of interrupting the checkout process, shift your upsells and cross-sells after the customer has completed their order. Here's how you can do it effectively. Use a one-click purchase upsell. Once the payment is processed, show an exclusive offer with a one-click add to order button. This works best with complementary products, extended warranties, or subscription upgrades. Leverage the thank you page. Instead of a static confirmation message, use displays to highlight a special offer or upgrade while the customer is still engaged. Follow up with an email sequence. If a customer bought one product, they're already invested in your brand. Send a well-timed email offering a related product with a discount or bonus to increase lifetime value. The goal is simple. Let the customer check out without friction, then offer them more once they already said yes. That way, you boost revenue without losing sales. The easiest way to increase your checkout conversions is to remove everything that doesn't need to be there. Every extra step, unnecessary form field, or distracting element adds friction and increases the chances of cart abandonment. Here's how you can maximize conversions at checkout. Eliminate unnecessary fields. Do you really need the company name, second address line, or phone number? If the field isn't essential, remove it. The fewer fields customers have to fill out, the faster they check out. Remove navigation and external links. Once a customer is in checkout, the only action they should take is completing their purchase. Get rid of the header navigation, sidebar links, or anything that might pull them away. Use autofill and address lookup. Make checkout effortless by embedding autofill for name, address, and payment details. Integrate address lookup to reduce typing and prevent errors. So here is the key takeaway. Every second you save in checkout increases your chances of closing the sale. Keep it simple, keep it fast, and remove anything that slows down the customer.